Ren Carothers here with another Breeders' Cup 2021 preview, and my special guest today is Reylu Gutierrez, and he's going to be one of the fresh faces you're seeing at Breeders' Cup. You've got your first Breeders' Cup mount, Hidden Connection. We're going to talk about her in just a minute. Before we get to her, let's learn a little bit more about you. I mean, you're a Rochester, New York native. Your dad was a trainer. Your uncle was a jockey. Obviously, you fell in love with it. So tell us about your experience with racing.
Racing is it's given me everything. I can't remember my life without horses. I grew up in it at Finger Lakes, and my dad he's still training, and I've been cleaning water buckets and doing stalls since I was an infant, really. And every time I go back, I mean, I bought a house up there, and I go home every other week, and I always go to my dad's barn, and nothing's changed. I mean, I'll still help out, do stalls, clean buckets, and I mean, I can win whatever race. I mean, when I go home, I gotta pay rent, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I mean, I love where I grew up. I love where I'm from, and the horses paid for my education and everything, so I'm very blessed.
And you actually have a degree in sports exercise. Or exercise science.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what does that entail? And how does that give you an edge in what you do?
Right. It's really just it's exercise physiology, exercise science, same thing. It's really just I guess you can call it a transition bachelor's degree in science to be a physician's assistant or a physical therapist. My dream was never really to be a jockey, it was to be a physical therapist, and hopefully after I have a long riding career, I can transition into getting my DPT and be a physical therapist. And that's what I've always wanted to do. I mean, just helping athletes, helping the common citizen just be a healthier individual and be a more proactive and fit individual. So that's what I really like to do. And it's helped me in my career be healthy and strong. So, I mean, I'm really thankful for it.
Well, talking about, again, your family being involved in racing and then you going into the career as a jockey, was your family supportive from the jump with it, or were there nerves thinking about you being up there on these horses going X mile per hour out there? Most probably. I
mean, not really nerves. I mean, they weren't too happy about the idea of me being a rider just because you know, my two cousins are very successful and very intelligent individuals who went to private school, went to university, and became very successful in their careers. And my sister's studying right now to be a physician's assistant. So, you know, when I decided I wanted to be a rider, they weren't too thrilled with it. You know, they always tried to keep us away from the horses. Really everybody in my family except my dad, because he loved the free labor. But, you know, it was just something that I fell in love with. And, I mean, science says, you know, I'm 5'1", so science didn't really help me much either. But, you know, it's just something that when I did say I wanted to do it, they gave me the ultimatum. It was finish university, get your degree so you can have a backup plan. And, you know, once you do that, I mean, we'll fully stand behind you. But if you're going to do it, you better do it right, because, I mean, you have all the tools and all the opportunities, you know, being bilingual and being from a family that's, you know, here stable in the United States, you know, to be successful. And, you know, so there was really no excuse for me at all. So there was no nerves. I mean, you know, they knew what to expect of me going on. They're just pretty much from the start, just like, don't be dumb, you know. So it's just one like that.
Well, I'm sure they're extremely proud of all you've accomplished in just a short time. You're only 25 years old, correct?
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy. You're riding at a tremendous clip here in 2021. And as I already mentioned, you've got your first Breeders' Cup mount ever. Talking about Hidden Connection, she won the Grade 3 Pocahontas Stakes in a stakes record time of 1:43 and 78/100ths. And she looked like she did it with such ease. And it was a little bit different from what she did on debut, obviously, at Colonial, in which you had also ridden her that day, sprinting. So can you tell us about her progression? And were you riding her in the mornings for Brett Calhoun also before actual race day?
Yeah, of course. Well, she's a very talented filly, and she has a very professional and talented barn, and behind her, I mean, the Calhoun team just does really good at preparing their horses. And I really breezed her one time at Colonial from the gates, and she breezed with another horse who I won't mention his name because he's a pretty good horse too. But he's already won, and I mean, we breezed together, and I knew who the other horse was, but I wasn't sure who she was, and I was in my head, I was kind of like, that horse is talented. I mean, I wonder why he's working her with him, but she just completely dominated this horse, and I was just like, whoa, wow. You know, it was pretty great. And I told Jose, I mean, I called him right after, and like, he was like, take a breath, relax, you know, and I was very excited, and I said, man, we gotta ride this horse, man, and this horse is pretty good. And he was like, really? And you know, so we kind of went back at it, and it was very big turn of events how I ended up on her. I rode another horse for Mr. Calhoun called Street Tapper, and I won on her first time. And Mr. Calhoun's a really fair guy. I mean, he gives everybody an opportunity, and he actually named another rider on Hidden Connection, and I was named actually on the favorite in that specific race for another trainer. And the rider who was named on Hidden Connection, Gabe Size, unfortunately got hurt. And then my horse ended up scratching out of the race. So I ended up on Hidden Connection. And before the race, I was just like, no one's going to beat this filly. This filly just dominated in the morning. And that's exactly how she ran. And there were a couple horses in there in that maiden special weight race. One came from Kentucky. One was coming down from Fair Hill, I think. And she just completely dominated them. So I knew the expectations were pretty good with her. But I didn't think when I saw her in the Pocahontas, she would perform the way she did, going 2 turns for the first time. And, you know, it's just like, wow, that's pretty cool.
Well, I mean, she laid obviously in that sprint, in that debut sprint, she laid further back. Now stretching up to that mile and 16th, she was closer up, pressing the pace, and she went wide into that first turn. But you stayed cool on her. It looked like she really wanted to go, but you were, from my eye, obviously it's a lot different when you're actually in the irons there. From my eye, it looked like you were managing to keep her calm and collected in, you know, with that connection between the bit and the reins, without pulling on her, without stressing her out, making her feel as though she was being restrained. So again, really good hands. I think that's always a telltale sign of a jockey who can be of elite caliber. And you just got her to the position where she could have running room, breathe, and when you were ready to say, okay, you can go, she had plenty in the tank.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what helped us too is that obviously, I believe a horse flipped in the paddock before the race. I think that was the most outside horse who was a run happy, who had a little bit of speed, and that definitely helped. That kind of, I had a plan, but that definitely made my plan a lot easier because, you know, I only needed one horse to cross me. I knew it was going to be Tyler. He's going to show speed. And once he crossed me, he was outside. And they tried to push me out a little bit, but I had so much horse. I'm not, you know, I wasn't going to get bossed around with her. I know what I have under me. And, you know, once I got to the spot I wanted to be, I really just believed, you know, even when we were going into 7/8, it was game over there. You know, someone had to be running really good to beat me because she was going so good. And I know the stretch is really long at Churchill. And, you know, I just kind of wanted to prove to people, like, I know where I'm at and I know what's under me. It's just need the horse. And, you know, when I saw Tyler fading, I mean, I wanted to just keep him there because if I keep him there, I mean, that means everybody else has got to wait too. So, you know, I was going to dictate the show, and she helped me perform.
Well, you're right. 1,235 feet, that stretch. And she gets 10 points toward the Kentucky Oaks also with that win. And it was also a win and you're in again for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies. You're going to be going out to Del Mar. This is going to be your first time riding there as well. Are you planning to try to pick up some mounts that whole week?
Well, that's the plan, but it's up to the Jose Santos. I mean, he's the man in charge. I kind of just do what he tells me to do. And, if we're lucky enough to get those opportunities, I mean, I'll be there. I'll be getting a nice little tan. So, I mean, hopefully they return.
How do you plan to ride at a track that you've never been over for an event like this?
I'll just watch a bunch of replays, and I'll be there. I'll be watching, and it's a little bit, you know, it's not as long as a stretch, and you know, it's more of a traditional track in that sense. You know, Del Mar isn't too big, so I mean. I believe it's a mile track, right? So, I mean, it's kind of just like going over like, you know, where I grew up. So there won't be too much of a difference. And just means, hey, if I'm going easier going into the stretch coming for home, that means so less I got to do to get her home.
Well, it's a very exciting time, I'm sure, for you in your career, and also very exciting filly. Talking about Hidden Connection, daughter of Connect, a first crop representative. He himself, a son of Curlin, who won the Breeders' Cup Classic. And then she's out of a daughter of Awesome again, who won the Classic in 1998. So gotta love the Breeders' Cup cred there. And how great would the story be for you to win your first Breeders' Cup race with this first opportunity granted you?
It would be tremendous. This whole year, 2021, has been a dream for me. I got to give credit to my housemate over here, Jose Santos, because, you know, we went to Houston together, and, you know, last year I run at Saratoga, and I've always been on the NYRA circuit. I'm a New Yorker, and going to Houston was a big transition for me, because I was like, where the heck am I going? And to be in the place where I am today, and for us to develop the way that we have and so quickly, I mean, and, you know, in less than a year of us working together, we're going to the Breeders' Cup, and we're riding here at Keeneland, and we're holding our own. And, you know, that's just a credit to the horses he's kind of getting me on. You know, there's no jockey without the horses, and it's a really big team effort. And it just means more to me because, you know, Jose's he's a really good friend of mine, and, you know, we're both, you know, we both went to college, but, you know, we both grew up with horses. Our dads are in the horses, and, you know, it's just really cool to do it with him. You know, working with me. So, and then just for Mr. Calhoun and for his team, and for his whole team from Texas and Oklahoma that helped me get here. I mean, his assistant out there, Jay Sievers. So it's really personal because, I mean, they mean the world to me, and, you know, to give me this opportunity, and to Hidden Brook and everything, just, you know, black type thoroughbreds.
Yeah, Jake Ballas, right? They bought into her after that debut.
You know, and so they just, all of them, and I see Jake, you know, all the time in the mornings when we talk, and it means a lot. And, you know, I'm 25, you know, but I didn't start riding until I was 22, you know, so it's just in this little bit of time, and to be at the Breeders' Cup already, can't believe it, you know, it's pretty darn cool.
A rising star looking to shine bright come Future Stars Friday. Ray, thank you so much for your time. We're looking forward to seeing you in action.
Me too. If anybody's got any food recommendations, I'm a foodie. Let me know.
Check out the little video I did with Mike Smith. We got plenty.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much.
Everybody, this has been your Breeders' Cup 2021 preview featuring Ray Gutierrez.